In February 1955, an unmarried graduate student at the University of Wisconsin gave birth in San Francisco, and she gave the baby away to strangers. His biological parents were Syrian and Swiss American, a mixed-faith couple her father had forbidden her to marry. The baby went to a working-class mechanic and his wife in Mountain View, California, who had no college degree. His name was Steve Jobs. His adoptive father was a high school dropout who rebuilt cars in the garage, and he taught the boy how to take machines apart and put them back together. At 13, Steve met a 17-year-old electronics prodigy at a friend's house. His name was Steve Wozniak. Years later, Jobs enrolled at Reed College, but within 6 months, he dropped out. He could not stand knowing his parents, who had never gone to college, were spending their life savings on tuition for classes he did not believe in. He slept on dormitory floors, returned Coke bottles for spare change to buy food, and walked 7 miles every Sunday to a Hare Krishna temple just for a hot meal. Then he flew to India barefoot, searching for meaning for 7 months. When he came back, he found Wozniak, who had just finished designing a new kind of personal computer. In April 1976, in Jobs' parents' garage, the two of them founded a company they named Apple. Jobs sold his Volkswagen van, Wozniak sold his calculator, and together they raised $1,300 to start it. Within 4 years, Apple went public, and 25-year-old Jobs was worth over $200 million. In 1984, he launched the Macintosh, the first personal computer with a graphical user interface. He was the face of the personal computer revolution. Brash, visionary, worshipped by his own employees. But in 1985, he made the mistake that would haunt him. He recruited John Sculley, the CEO of Pepsi, to run Apple, telling him, "Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world?" The two clashed almost immediately. That May, Sculley stripped him of all authority. Jobs tried to stage a coup against him. The board found out, and they sided with Sculley. Jobs was 30 years old, and he had just been fired from the company he built in his own garage. He later said, "It felt like somebody had punched me in the stomach and knocked all my wind out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone," but he kept going. He founded a second computer company called Next. He bought a tiny struggling animation studio from George Lucas for $10 million and renamed it Pixar. In 1995, Pixar released Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated feature film in history, and overnight, Jobs became a billionaire. 2 years later, Apple, now on the verge of bankruptcy, bought Next, and Jobs walked back into the company that had fired him 12 years earlier. He later said it. "I didn't see it then, but getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. Between 1997 and his death in 2011, he launched the iMac, the iPod, the iTunes Store, the iPhone, and the iPad. By the time he died, Apple was the most valuable company on earth, because sometimes the moment you lose everything you built is the moment you finally become free to build something that will outlive you.